Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to find out what are the rear seats like in a Ford Mustang really, and how do you justify a purchase like this to your other half. And then I'm going to take it out for a drive and you're going to find out what an Aston Martin owner thinks of a car which isn't exactly known for its interior refinement. Look, let's get into it. Welcome to Dadcars. So I would say that the first generation Mustangs are some of the most iconic cars, full stop. But I love 80s, 90s and noughties generation cars. And that's when it was the third and fourth generation Mustang. And let's just say they've never appealed to me whatsoever. Now the fifth generation Mustang was starting to get there for me. But in 2015, we saw this, the sixth generation Mustang. And it instantly became a car that I said to myself, I must own one of these one day. And this awesome American 5-litre V8 that you get here, in the UK, produced from standard around 420 brake horsepower, 0 to 60. If anyone out there knows exactly what these were, definitely from standard in the UK, please drop it in the comments below. It's easily sub 5 seconds. Yeah, okay, enough of that. This is the Dadcars channel, isn't it? What about practicality? It's no good to us if we can't fit anything in the back. Well, I mean, I can see the concern with this beautiful roof line that goes down there. The rear seats have got to be compromised, haven't they? Well, let's find out. Right, so manually operated. If I want to pull that forward, I have to press the button and it will go forward electronically. Let's see what it's like having a full-grown adult in the back here. Okay, right. Yeah, I think you'd have to do this. You'd have to slope right forward as an adult in the back here. So yeah, rear practicality here for adults and even teenagers, I would say, is definitely limited. I could do a half an hour journey maybe, and then my lower back would just be in absolute agony back here. But let's have a look at child seats. And it does have Isofix here on the two rear seats. They're very bizarre though, these slots. So I don't know how well this Isofix base is going to fit in, but let's give it a try. I mean, these doors are huge, so actually getting that in there was relatively easy. Okay, so it's a very sort of strange layout, but that base does actually fit in there rather nicely. So let's have a look at the rear facing baby seat. Now this, look, again, is impressive. You could have the baby in there quite easily and swing that around. That is really actually quite easy for a two-door. Right, okay, so it's in. But will the seats go back? Moment of truth. Yes, so look, it does. And I've had a little play around with this seat, moved it forward a bit, down a bit, forward a bit. But let's have a look how usable it is for an adult. So it is compromised, but as a 5'11" passenger, this is passable, definitely. There's no chance you could do this on the driver's side, especially with a manual. Ah, look, this car's owner's a dog dad. The dog seatbelt. I need to get Montague on more actually. But what about older children and front-facing seats? So here is an Isofix based booster seat. It's a folding travel one, which makes it really easy actually to get in the back of these sorts of cars. Wow, yes, look at that. I mean, that seat fits in there absolutely perfectly. So it's almost like these rear seats really are for infrequent adult use. But mainly, yeah, I think these are really usable for children. This is a very usable car as a dad car. Now this is just a generic rear facing baby seat and base, but if anybody knows of any more compact ones or any manufacturers want to reach out, please do. But this here, you can see fits in perfectly. So this is interesting. This is the travel belt secured child seat that I use in the back of the Dad B9. Excuse the chocolate mark, she was eating chocolate on the way up. But because these seat belts, they kind of come from here and here, you're kind of left with this void behind here. So that void, I'll try and get this in as tight as possible. I might have to sort of roll up my jumper and pack that in behind. So that's interesting. Belt secured child seats aren't necessarily the best back here. So I would recommend getting Isofix ones. It passes the Dadcars boot test with flying colours. This boot is massive. Look, it's got all of the owner's stuff in there and also a folding buggy. How cool is that? So yeah, this boot is very practical. And you can actually fold these rear seats forward as well. Talk about practical. So before we take this out for a drive, I just want to explain to you why this is such a special car to me. My wife and I, before we started our family, we saved, and we were really fortunate enough to go and do our dream holiday, which was driving across America for a whole month. And on the California side, we drove all across California and we hired a 6th generation Mustang. We picked it up in San Francisco, drove to Yosemite, down Route 1 to Pismo Beach, San Diego, some of Route 66 going up to Vegas. I mean, it was just insane, an absolute dream come true, and those memories we'll cherish forever. But that was a rental spec car. I'm not sure what engine option it was, but it was, yeah, certainly one of the gutless ones. But today though, driving this 5-litre V8 Mustang GT, oh yeah, I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. Right, so let's drive a proper Mustang. What a cool moment. Oh yes, the rumble of that V8. Are you okay, Pickle? You got it, yeah? You sorted? It's just started raining, hasn't it? It seems to be my luck at the moment. You know, it used to always really annoy me on Top Gear when they would do the track tests of cars, and then it would be on a wet day and they'd say, oh, you know, put wet or very wet on there. I used to get annoyed and think, why didn't you just do it on another day when it was dry? But I understand now, you kind of just got to go for it. And it is wonderful having a manual gearbox back. Oh, this feels so special. It really does feel so special. I love these cars. So let's get the big grumble out of the way with this car. Everybody says that the interior quality is shocking. And obviously me driving up today in my Aston Martin, which is the opposite, isn't it? It's proper refined. Yeah, look, it's different. It is different, you know. If you really want to pick holes, you can sort of find sort of like cheap sounding plastics and stuff around. But with a car like this, what you pay for what's important. You pay for the engine, you pay for the absolute perfect looks of this thing. And the feel. And it's a Mustang, isn't it? If you want a car that's got as beautiful of a side profile as this, and also to have a really fine, refined interior, yeah, sure, you go and buy yourself an 8 Series Coupe. That's not a Mustang, is it? So considering I've driven some incredible, expensive cars on the Dadcars channel recently, I was expecting to step back into here and it sort of feel really cheap and plasticky as a contrast, but I love this interior. I think it's fantastic. I love that it's got analog dials. The screen, I mean, this screen I believe has been something attached to it so that you can use like Apple CarPlay quite easily. And yeah, you know what, with some of the plastics being questionable and the leather perhaps not being the highest of quality, it just means when you've got your kids in here and they're eating their crisps and cakes and stuff and they're getting their sticky fingers all over everything, just means you can probably not stress as much about it. I mean, not that I do in my DB9, God, you should see it right now. Yeah, right, we've warmed up a bit and I'm going to overtake this truck. It's still a bit greasy out there, so I won't go too mad, but let's have a little feel of this V8. Oh, yes. Well, I've got to obviously get used to this clutch, but yeah, this is lovely. It does really feel special. Something about a Mustang, isn't there? Now, some of my American subscribers might be thinking, why is it getting all hot under the collar about a Mustang? But even though these 6th generation cars have been available in the UK now for a number of years, they are still a very special thing. It's a petrol head in the UK, a Mustang is a special thing. You're tired? You go for little no-nights? Right, national speed limit, you ready? Should we go fast? You ready? American V8. Oh, it's lovely. The viewpoint over that bonnet, you can see the couple of creases there. Oh, this is wonderful. Part of me was kind of hoping that maybe I was a bit gooey-eyed about the Mustang because of driving it across America. And that I'd come and drive this today, and after all the other things I've been driving recently, maybe, you know, wouldn't quite live up to it, in which case it's one less car that I've got to consider to replace the Aston. But unfortunately, I think this is on the list. You can fit that 3-across multi-back in the back, which I think you might be able to. I could take this car out with all 4 of my children for a day of Dadcars fun. Here's a bit of Dadcars trivia. In a previous video review I did, whilst I was driving along, a Mustang like this drove past, and I said, I'd love to get one of those on the channel. Do you remember what car I was driving when that happened? If so, put it in the comments below. But it's so lovely just sort of seeing the channel come together like this, and you know, me ticking off just incredible bucket list cars like this, checking out the Practicality. It's wonderful, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. So a massive thank you to Matt, the owner of this car. What a lovely guy. Now he came over to the channel and subscribed after watching JM's Dad B9 video, and I know I've got a lot of subscribers from that Dad B9 video, so hello to all of you guys who came over from JM. Absolutely love JM, been a fan of his for so many years, and that was a complete dream, that was, doing that with him. Now obviously the real appeal of a Mustang comes from those gorgeous, iconic first generation Mustangs, don't they, like the fastback and all the rest of it. But my impression of those cars is that if you've got one, you know, you sort of spend more time underneath the bonnet and underneath working on the car than you do actually out driving it. But these cars are very, very usable, aren't they? I mean, these are the sorts of cars you could use on a school run on a wet day, like today. Fit everything in the boot. I mean, I'm sure it's probably quite a safe car as well. So a really usable Mustang, and you can get one with a manual gearbox like this, which feels absolutely insane. Yes, right, look, we're coming up to a national speed limit. Let's drop it down. Right, a second. Are you ready? Whoa! Yeah, it's a bit greasy out there, so you can feel those rear wheels go. But again, look, just another example of why this car is usable. You know, like the traction control just kicked in right straight away there, and you're never going to get yourself into massive trouble. So I said earlier on about how much I love the looks of the 6th generation Mustang, and how I just think they nailed it. And the proof of that as well was the next generation. I mean, you can see the 7th generation one now, which will be coming out soon, and it's very similar to this. I mean, they've made a few sort of futuristic tweaks, which, for example, it's going to have a digital dash, an all digital dash. I don't want my Mustang with a digital dash. You can keep that, thank you very much. I'll take one of these. I've seen these cars up for as low as £25,000 for a little while now. I mean, those cars tend to be higher mileage, you know, more owners and stuff, but it's a very attainable price point, isn't it? You know, even normal people like me could afford to buy an incredible Mustang like this. Should make you feel. Oh, that V8 is just rumbling away. Got to own one of these at some point. I absolutely have to. I would go for the convertible though. I mean, that's because of, obviously I drove one of those around America, and also when you talk about Dadcars, anything that the roof comes off, it just makes it all the more fun, doesn't it? And my wife would really approve of this purchase. Again, she's probably quite gooey-eyed, thinking back to our holiday and everything. So yeah, she's sort of like in love with these cars as well. So it's a purchase my wife would support. Are you okay, Pickle? You're right, sweetie. Won't be much longer, okay? God bless her. She's been so amazing all day today. So we had quite a long drive to come here as well and see this car. So we've just pulled over because it's been a long day, hasn't it? And you just wanted a cuddle, which is absolutely fair enough. Let's just talk about fuel economy, because that's a big thing, isn't it? Your partner might be thinking, no, you can't have that. You can't have a 5-litre V8. It's going to be really uneconomical. But the owner of this car said that miles per gallon seems to hover around 21, 22, which isn't that bad. And he said, and on a long run, you can hit 30 miles per gallon. And to me, 30 miles per gallon is always like, if you can get to that, then you're golden, really. And also, am I right in thinking as well with these cars that it's not mega money when something goes wrong either, because it's a Ford? Now, the other thing that petrolhead friends of mine always say about the Mustang is that the problem with the Mustang is, you know, yeah, you spend 30 grand on buying one, but then you can easily spend another 20 grand on modifications to make it exciting to drive. In just a little section of driving I've done already, I can tell you this feels properly special. And again, you know, I do always say with Dadcars, you know, you want something which makes you feel like a hero, but you can also just sort of drive it around safely, and and it gives you all the feels, even just sort of driving up to 30 miles an hour. And this certainly does all of that. In terms of modifications to this car, I believe it's on different springs. It's got that spoiler on the back as well, hasn't it? Which, for me, I always prefer cars without spoilers. I like the classic design. I can understand why people spend loads of money on supercharging these and making them even louder. I mean, I guess I could maybe make it a bit louder. Right, so we go for another little quick drive. So in summary then, for the Mustang GT, look, it's just a winning formula, isn't it? These classic, nail on the head muscle car looks. That V8 up front, partnered with this manual gearbox, sending all the power to the rear wheels. That muscle car soundtrack you can hear rumbling from the exhaust. And the rear practicality and the usability of a car like this. This is an all year round usable car. It's fantastic. It's an absolute winner. A proper dad car. And unfortunately, it's another one to add to the car list to replace the DB9. So at the moment, we've got this and the Gran Turismo. What do you think? Put down in the comments below. But look, thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, hit the bell icon. I only do one video a week. Hit that bell icon. Yeah, comment, share. And I'll see you on the next one. Look, after the credits, I always put in the outtakes. So stick around and check them out as well. All right, see you later, guys. Bye-bye. This one's been absolutely amazing, haven't you? My car is completely wrecked. Sticky handprints everywhere, sausage roll, sandwiches, all sorts, brilliant. So if you're watching this now because it's your partner, your husband or whatever, who wants to buy one of these and you're checking to see if it's actually a mad thing or not, you know, I don't think it is. If you can afford to comfortably buy one of these, you know what, I think it will make a really good dad car for the family. Red and yellow and pink and green. Do you like cars? Do you want to hear it? Yeah? Does that sound good? Is it a bit scary? Would you like one when you get bigger? Yeah? Would you like a sticker? I've got a sticker you can have if you want. On that holiday, we also hired a Camaro SS. Oh, I'd love to get one of these on the Dadcars channel. Have you seen all of my other dad car reviews? If not, check them out. There's some incredible cars on there. Go and watch them now. There's this movie that I think you'll like. This guy decides to quit his job and heads to New York City.